Well, it's all about the budget. You can see the fireworks already, and I'm not surprised. You know, some are happy about the budget presentation and hopefully execution, while others are having serious doubt, and they have the right to express their doubt. Joining us right now in the studio is another political analyst. Join me to welcome Osa Kindness.
Thanks so much.
You came so late,
Yeah,
very late.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, it's okay. It's all right.
Here.
Well, now you heard what Comrade Christopher said. He's still having serious doubt, and he has a reason to. Taking a look at the national budgets, but still no value deficit. Now, do you think it will be what will play out in those states under the leadership of Senator Okpebholo?
No. No. Okpebholo is a dynamic leader. A man that has come to truly develop Edo. I don't understand why people are not seeing that passion in him. The man is not, like I told you before, he's not fixated on English, grammar. Okay, I'll give you an example. I remember some time ago when I engaged him, and he told me, he said, listen, education, because you know I'm from the education sector, education is going to receive the greatest attention from my administration. And I said, really? He said, yes. I wasn't looking out for his method of presentation, how the English, Queen's English. I was looking at the figures and the sector by sector allocation. Education, which is my major concern here, got a whooping 45 billion. Over 45 billion.
Over 45 billion?
Yes, you can check the budget. And out of that amount, a certain 500 million naira was allocated to Ambrose Ali University. If you divide that
6 billion.
If you divide that by the year, that will give you how much? 6 billion, which means at the end of 2025, Ambrose Ali alone would have received 6 billion naira from the government. The past administration, what did they do with Ambrose Ali? The same people who are shouting now, talking about grammar, the grammarian of a governor, reduced the allocation to Ambrose Ali from 500 million to 45 million. A paltry 45 million. 40. Or even 40 million. At the end of the day, what happened to Ambrose Ali? They fell down in terms of ranking of universities. Many of their departments lost accreditation. And today, Ambrose Ali is a shadow of its former self. I think that is what Edo people should be bothered about, not English. Did you also see agricultural sector? That the agricultural sector received over, I think, 4.5 billion. Yes, 4.5 billion. No governor has ever allocated such an amount to the agricultural sector. What does the governor intend to achieve with that? He told me when I engaged him that we are going to set up clusters in communities, and that these clusters will be similar to the old communal farms. If you, I'm sure he has gone far in terms of age. So when we were growing up then, I remember my mom who used to work in one of the farm, communal farm settlements, you know, in the interior. And he told me, said he's going to set up agriculture similar to that. I mean, mention that I remembered the past. And if you check the budget, he has said that they are going to set up farm settlements in the 3 geopolitical zones that make up Edo State. So what that means is that we are now talking of a situation where government will invest in agriculture in an attempt to help Nigeria, you know, achieve food sufficiency. Have you seen the budget allocated to roads and bridges? The hula balloon that greeted the groundbreaking of the flyover at Ramat Park. Some of them said, yes, there was no budgetary allocation for that. And the man said, okay, no problem, we know what to do. He said they halted the commencement of that project, you know, and then, have you seen the budget? It is there. And then you talk of other roads that have been captured in the budget. Let me tell you, Wisin, Edo people are in for a good time. Edo people are in for the best of time.
All right.
We are in for a government that is truly, that is ready. You know, he said practical governance. I am not saying practical governance for positive impact.
Okay.
Please watch out.
I will come back to you. Well, kindness, I know due to some circumstances beyond your control, able to make it early to the studio, but thank God you are here. All right. People are still having this doubt that, like what Prof rightly said, it's like an estimation of what you can do and all that. In terms of articulation, in terms of, you know, executing what was being proposed by the government of the day, the fear of people like Comrade Ojekere, and if they have the right to have this fear, that some persons are the ones behind the mechanization of this budget, and they know how to pick it and take one or two from the budget to the extent that it will not get straight down to where do people, and that is a palpable fear. How do you think?
Comrade Ojekere is not a strange person.
Yeah.
He's a very critical Edolite, and of course he has rights, like every other Edolite, to express either fear or confidence in the budgets, as it were. But I'm particularly taken aback that some persons choose to reduce the budget presentation to superficial commentary, rather than look at it from the perspective of celebration that we are having a new era in Edo State. For the first time, you see that the budget, as it were, capital expenditure is way over above recurrent expenditure, with substantial amount deployed to road infrastructure, which of course has been comatose in the last 8 years of the past administration. So I think that's what we should be looking at. And looking at how, in any case, the error that seems to be what has dominated the airways in the last 2 days can as well be human error, yes. Human imperfection, yes. It can as well be typographical in nature. So that, for me, it is really irrelevant. And look at what plans is the government putting in place to ensure that these budgets haven't been implemented by the end of the year. It gets to the ordinary Edolite. More fundamental, does this budget address the 5-point agenda of the government? Looking at security, looking at education, looking at agriculture, looking at which other one? 5. You know, so those are the issues. Reducing it to superficial commentary will not help us as a state, will not help us as a people. We must understand that the elections are over. That for or against or English will not influence the outcome of the current court process, which of course the opposition have rights to do in court. But instead of now bringing it to become a tool to discredit a government because somebody made an error in either pronunciation, in any case, that error, the best of us could have also made that error. If you look at the documents.
Of course.
If you look at the best of us could have made the same error. So the error in the pronunciation or the way the budget was presented is completely irrelevant. Rather, we must concentrate on the workability of the budget and how it affects the ordinary Edo.
All right, thank you, goodness. I wish we were here from the onset. I would have, anyway, that's by the way. Now, Prof, please give us the budget, because I know you're not a politician, I know.
Excuse me?
I know.
I told you today.
Yes.
I will stick to the budget.
To the budget, yes, please go ahead.
You see, the budget of yesterday presented by the governor, like I told you, is projected spending and projected expenditure. And there were things we expect in a summary. The budget is a big document. You do not expect the governor to read through that document there. There's a summary which should have touched critical areas. The budget of over 605 billion, which will amount to about over $355 million at the rate of $1,700, $1,700 to a dollar, which of course I said was up by 25% from last year.
Yeah. Up
in terms of amount, but not value.
Not value.
And then from this, we have 223 billion, which is a 36.86% for recurrent expenditure, that is overhead, running of government and other things. And then 381 billion, which is 62.98% for capital projects. Quite impressive, I must say. And then 162 billion, which is 26.78% of the entire budget for road construction. Applaudable. Then 63.9 billion, 10.56% for health sector. And then there's another one for health insurance, which is 0.3%. That's 1.8 billion for health insurance. My only worry about this health insurance, health budget, because if you add the two together, is about 10.86%, which is less than 15%. That is the minimum benchmark. So one would expect that the governor would have at least possibly followed the minimum benchmark. This is close to the minimum benchmark anyway. Then we have 4.5 billion budgeted for agric. And the percentage is just 0.74%, less than 1% of the budget budgeted for agric.
That's starting from somewhere.
One would expect that a governor or a government, because let me not say a governor, because this is a government who is interested in the welfare. Food is very important, food security. In the last few months, we have had food crisis, I'm sure you are aware. Prices of goods skyrocketing, and it was worse in Edo State. Things are more expensive. We discussed it here.
Yeah.
The activities of market unions and all those people.
Which has been handled.
Handled, yes. I must commend the governor for that. The vegetable people, they have union and all that. But that one has been settled. One would expect that the governor would have at least, this budget for agriculture, less than 1%, 4.5 billion. One would expect that the governor would have done more, or the government would have done more. So we hope to see an improvement in subsequent budgeting.
Right.
Then,
hold on. Turn by turn.
I'm not done.
Yes.
I heard my colleague here, because what we have, the figures I'm reading at now, are what the governor read at yesterday. None of us here, I think, have seen the bulky documents already to extract these figures from. See this education sector we're talking about. Education is a very critical sector.
Yes.
Such that UNESCO proposed a minimum 26% budget of a state, of a country to education. Because a people, or rather a country, cannot grow above the educational standard of its people. So he's talked about 45 billion naira budgeted to education. 45 billion of 605, that's less than 10%. But the figures I got, I think I got 48 billion naira for tertiary education, not only tertiary education. 48 billion. And then the one I want to applaud the governor for, because I'm a teacher. I have colleagues in AAU. I have families and friends. Some of them have even lost their lives because of the organ. The governor graciously approved 6 billion naira for the year 2025.
All right.
I will call it takeoff, because it's like the school is taking off from the scratch.
I'll come back to you.
So I think I'll commend the governor for that.
I will come back to you.
Thank you.
Now, Comrade Christopher, you heard his analysis of what the governor really read. There were some shortcomings. Health, which many people believe that the previous administration did wonderfully well. And of course, agriculture, less than the percentage stipulated by the world, whether UNESCO, UNICEF, UPED, and the rest of them. Please take it up from that angle.
All right, let me quickly make 2 points before I take it off.
Yes.
Obaseki had never, from the word get-go, skewed his budget to have a larger percentage for recurrent expenditure. They are there in the internet. All Obaseki's budget, capital project, got more. It would be preposterous to think that Obaseki would make, recurrent expenditure more. Now, that's number one. So I just wanted to correct that. Then number two, budget reveals the policy direction of a government. From the figures that have been read out here, I still don't have any policy direction. And that's why we're talking of a manifesto. Is it going to be a social budget for social services? Because educational health, for instance, that are social services, are getting such low percentages in the budget. Is it going to be capital intensive? The only capital intensive project there that I've seen that got a good percentage is roads. So I'm not seeing anything for urban development. It's not going to open up new communities and so on and so forth. We've not seen the total breakdown anyway. So the point we are making is this. If you have a budget devoted to education and you are saying 48 billion for tertiary institution alone, I can see why Mr. Andrew is so excited. Dr. Andrew is so excited yes. Because it's in that sector. But my fear is if Dr. Andrew uses his expertise to cook up figures and steals about 28 billion of that, how would Okpebholo know? Who doesn't know the figure of the budget? How would he know? So that's the point we are making. So we are not reducing it to triviality when we are talking about the figures. We're talking about mastering the figures. It's not English. That's figures. You're either good at numeracy or you're good at literacy. We have seen that he's bad at literacy before the election, and now he's not showing incompetence in numeracy. And that's why it's worrisome. Because he won't know the figures people like you will be bringing to him. And so the budget won't perform. It's not because they are there in paper. We're talking of his performance. So with direction. Now, it's talking about agricultural clusters. That would be very wonderful. You have, that would be very wonderful if it is done, because that will take care of the food crops. Obaseki had huge budget for agricultural sector, but they were, commercial agriculture. Now, I have not seen anything in this budget that is investing in productive economy that will bring money. So it means we are going to be depending on the rentier system. I have not seen that we are going to invest in social company, in social industry that bring in money. So we are going to be waiting for Abuja that is already run down itself, that has nothing to offer. And therefore, this may just end up as paper. Because how is it going to service this budget? We should get to know that. We have ethanol factory, for instance, from Obaseki. We have the Lobo having our own power supply. We have the State School of Nursing producing the best, nursing education for our kids who are going to all fetching money by getting the best of jobs in the medical sector. We want to see productive economy. We have the tourism industry being grown by Obaseki. So we want to see what will be bringing, what will service this budget. Where is he going to get the money from? Because the federal government is looking to borrow trillions. The federal government cannot take care of itself. So what's the project? What's the investment in the productive economy? If it's going to be social service, then where is he going to get the money from?
All right. Well, you heard him. And taking a look at the budget analysis, education, okay, fine, those still below UNESCO, health and agriculture. Come on, Mr. Patrice, when you take a look at the percentage. Doc, take it from there.
Okay, let's put it this way. You said Obaseki invested in what? Ethanol factory?
Yeah.
Is that state-owned?
It's PPP. You cannot. That's a mistake. I'm saying that
you
you
have
are
the time.
Depending on Abuja.
I'm trying to set these things in proper perspective so that we don't give our people the wrong impression. All right? Is the state-owned? That's a private entity.
It's private.
We talk about public, private.
He has the
floor.
He has the floor, please. Align that.
I have the floor.
He asked me a question.
Ethanol factory, it's not for Edo State government. There is not a PPP there. Sir, I am telling you now, go and do your findings. Apostle will say, go and verify. Please go and verify. It is privately owned. And I'm on national TV, and I'm saying it with all sense of seriousness, with capital letter. It is privately owned. As the power plant you talked about at Osiomo is privately owned. Edo State doesn't have a percentage share in that company. Please go and verify.
Back to the question.
You are very wrong.
Back to the question. Gentlemen.
Maybe you have to invite us here again after you have done your verification. Edo State does not have a single share in any of those refineries, wherever. We do not have a single share in any. Please go and verify. Now back to
the question.
The
health,
question.
agriculture,
the health sector,
education.
The health sector received a chunk from the budget, and the people were shouting, "Hey, Obaseki has stopped. Okpebholo has stopped health insurance." They are all disappointed now when they saw that almost 2 billion was allocated to the health insurance. What that means is that the governor cares about the health of his people. And I am still telling you that you should watch out for better days, because better days are here. You are going to see the best of service delivery in our healthcare sector. They quickly went to commission Sela Obasanjo only just did the front, painted it, but they refused to tell us that the work was ongoing. But they told us it has been completed. Yet, an uncompleted building was what they commissioned at Stella Obasanjo Hospital. When you talk about the tourism sector, nothing happened in the tourism sector except for the fact that they were building a privately owned Emowa inside Central Hospital. The same Central Hospital, of course, that will be retrieved back for Edo people. That was a privately owned, how do you call it, museum that was supposed to bring money into their private pockets. Okpebholo is not a man that is bad in figures. He may have made a mistake. And I asked a question yesterday, I think on the Senior Staff Club platform. And I said, who doesn't goof?
All right.
Who doesn't goof?
You just hold on now.
Even me as I am now. When you bring figures before me,
okay,
before I can acclimatize myself with that figures, because I'm not a figure person, but a statistician is seated here.
Thank you.
Asking me as if he has not goofed before.
Let's get it more and more intense. I like the energy. I like the fact that some persons are not really satisfied with until they see action. I also like the fact that some are saying, yes, he's doing well. So you see, balance Edo State. The doubt always put the fact and true, or last assumption to check. Gentlemen, we're about to move over to Lagos Network Center. Yes, because of time. So we're going to use at least a minute each to summarize our point. Not to worry, there'll be other platform for us to really come and analyze the budget. Okay, so I'm going to start off with you. You came very, very late. I love your energy, Blessing. I love your energy.
Quickly, let me say this. That I have said it many times, that when we are on national platform,
yes,
we have a responsibility to put our emotions in check. Because those who are watching us are people from different backgrounds and creeds. That being said, we must use every platform we have to speak the truth, irrespective of what is our political affiliation.
All right.
I'm saying to say that it is either Comrade Joe is not aware, or as usual is deliberately playing politics with information.
He has the right to.
Having said that, however, he has the right.
Yes.
He has the right to those opinions. Now he talked about the previous government investments.
Yes.
Again, all those are shambles. We just had a handing over paper.
Okay.
That did not contain either of those things. Please, I still have my time. I'm checking my time. Look, sir, the best of us can make mistakes. We have had a vice president make mistake on national team. We have had a professor who represented INEC in one of the elections make mistake. A professor.
Thank you.
So, just to say that,
yes,
we must give this government, irrespective of what you feel or how you feel, a benefit of doubt to see that this budget, perform.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your 1 minute is up. Well, Doc, 1 minute.
Okay.
Nothing more.
The fact is,
yes,
this budget will perform.
Of course.
This governor will perform.
Of course.
This government will deliver the dividends of democracy to the doorsteps of the people. This government is committed to practical governance. This governor, oh my word, loves his people. I've never seen a governor that is so passionate about the people. Okpebholo represents the downtrodden in the society. Obviously, he grew up from the villages. And we are seeing it. You can see within the space of 3 weeks in office what he has been able to achieve. And I'm telling you, that giving this man another 1 year, just 1 year in office, you will invite us here to come and testify to the. No, I have 1 minute. It's 8:20. So we will come back here to testify as to what God has done for Edo State using Senator Monday Okpebholo. So I want to urge people like Comrade, to cool down. Be optimistic.
And be told that elections are over.
No, not just elections. You are cool down, be optimistic.
Your time is up.
And then you will thank me for supporting me.
Your time is up. Thank you, Doc. Well, Comrade Christopher, 1 minute.
Obaseki left about 68 billion naira as IGR.
How much debt
generated from the investments that he had made.
And over 600
he has the billion
generated from investment he had made in.
Which of the investments?
Calm down. He has the floor. Time. No, he has the floor.
I didn't stop you.
has the floor. Allow him to
I didn't disturb you.
But you tell us you have the debt too.
We have
Please calm down.
We have nothing less than 10 Chinese companies working in Edo State. The largest glass manufacturing company in West Africa is in Edo State.
Privately owned.
They are not privately owned. Now hold on.
Please, he has a sign.
IG Arrow is now being collected by Shaba and his boys on the roads.
Not true.
Not true.
Not true, but you heard that on the demonstration. They are not being collected by Shaba and his boys. They are giving us 1% of
Thank you.
How do you fund the budget? But you are trying to mislead the people.
Gentlemen, please. Prof, over to you. 1 minute, please.
The budget presented by the governor yesterday, like I said, I would have expected more percentage for education. What we have for education is barely 12-13% as against 26%. And then for the health sector too, one would have expected something more. But let us, I know we didn't even hear anything about debt servicing. These are some of the things we should hear from the budget debts. So please, I would have expected more, but let us see how this will go.
Thank you. Thank you. No, kindness.
This project is only
Kindness.
and it's at the level of the house.
Kindness, your time is up. Gentlemen,
with over 680 million debt, the highest in the history of Edo State.
Well, as I was saying before, it's a highly emotional thing. Yes, I like the fact that some people are doubting it. And those citizens, they have the right to doubt. Others have the right to cheer. All we need right now is a better Edo State. A great Edo State. Even better, an improved version of what the previous administration left for the betterment of Edo people. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your opinion. I appreciate your opinion.